Hi, I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not worry about the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. Tonight's show, if you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you would know that it has a rather long title because it's called A Sacrifice in the Name of Love. And why would love be on our minds this next week? Because there is a fabulous new moon on Saturday at 12 degrees of Libra. And Libra is ruled by the love planet Venus. And Libra rules the traditional 7th house of legal partnership. And so it rules marriage, but it also rules business partnerships, and it rules the law, and it rules contracts. So you could have your mind on all of that as well. For instance, if a wonderful contract was offered to you, but it wasn't quite all on your terms, then you would probably want to use some Libra traits, which are Libras are very good at compromise or negotiation or tact. And so you could try to do that or have your mind on that, because no one is going to get everything that they want right now. And that is why there can be the need for a sacrifice, but in the name of love. So you could be thinking about a sacrifice that you want to make for a person that you love, but it could also be for a job that you love, or for some dream or goal that you have, and maybe that is going to require quite a bit of sacrifice. Why would the idea of sacrifice be in the picture right now? Well, it's because Venus is the ruler of Libra, and the Sun and the Moon are in Libra on Saturday. But Venus, the ruler of the sign, is actually ahead of that in Scorpio. In fact, there are 3 planets in Scorpio: Venus, Saturn, and Mercury. And so since Mercury rules communication, and Saturn rules sacrifice, and Venus rules love and compromise, there is the possibility, since Saturn and Venus are both in the same sign and it's a financial sign, that there could be a financial sacrifice that people have on their minds in the name of love. In other words, if your bills have been a little bit too high, this is a time when we are all going to have to realize, for one reason or another, and it could be very good reasons, that we will have to save more and spend less. And everyone will have to do that. So if you're going to be making a sacrifice, I think it might be financial, but it certainly would be in the name of love. In other words, those 3 planets in Scorpio are being trined beautifully by Neptune in Pisces, so it could be a sacrifice for the love of a dream or a goal or a wish of yours. And Jupiter in Cancer is also trining those 3 planets in Scorpio. And Cancer rules the home and the family, and it does rule real estate. So if you were thinking of buying a new home, you'd certainly have to save more and spend less in order to make a sacrifice for providing for your loved ones. So that is a perfectly good reason to do that. And also, it's always better to be out of debt or to cut your debt so that you do have extra money around to spend on somebody or something rather precious right now. So this is a time when you can be making a sacrifice in the name of love, and if it isn't you, it could be another family member, or it could be somebody who is a dear friend and is sympathizing with a goal or a cause of yours, and so they could be helping you out, and it might be a sacrifice on their part, but they could be doing it because they like you very much. Popularity is accentuated now because Jupiter, the planet of goodness, is trining Venus, the planet of love, and that is a sign of popularity, particularly among people who have the same feelings of empathy and sympathy for each other. So I've talked about the 5 planets in the water signs, but there are also 5 planets that are harshly squaring and opposing each other in the cardinal signs, and that covers the new moon on Saturday as well, because the Sun and the Moon are in Libra, and they are being squared harshly by Jupiter in Cancer and also by Uranus in Aries, and they are being opposed by Pluto in Capricorn. So you're not going to please everyone. If you have a goal and you're willing to make a sacrifice for it or for a loved one, then that should be enough. In other words, you have only yourself to answer to right now, because I don't think you're going to be convincing everyone else about your good ideas, mainly because they have ideas of their own. So not everyone is on the same page. But if anybody is going to be able to compromise or negotiate successfully, it would probably be a Libra, since the sun and moon are both in that sign. And any kind of a compromise that people decide to make right now will lead to a better future. And that is because Aquarius is the sign of the future, and it is trining the sun and new moon. And also, any kind of a compromise or an adjustment could lead to some sort of temporary or part-time project or endeavor that could work out rather well and could lead to something better in the future, because the sun and new moon in Libra are trining Gemini, which does rule communication and change. So those possibilities are absolutely excellent. It's just that you're really going to have to accept the fact that not a lot of people are going to agree with each other right now. So you have to be pretty sure of your feelings. And if you are, those 5 planets in water signs are going to back you up, which is wonderful. All right, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, for you, I think that the spotlight is going to be on somebody else. And the reason why is that sun and new moon on Saturday in Libra are directly opposing your sun sign, Aries, where you have Uranus. You might get a little fed up with the sudden peaceful overtures that people are making that are being accepted, or they will be by next week. And so you are a sign that likes to be a pioneer and sort of do things your own way. And that is going to be challenged this week, simply because Pluto in Capricorn is squaring your sun, and Jupiter in Cancer is also squaring your sun. So you might not be able to please all your family members. You also might not be able to please your boss, or there can be some sort of budget constraint right now. And that may be why there has to be a sacrifice. It could be a sacrifice just for budgetary reasons, because the bottom line is that all of us are going to have to save more and spend less. And that will be you as well, Aries. But I think you're going to be left out of something, because the spotlight is certainly on someone else who can be quite charming and is very peace-loving. And I think that there's a special emphasis on that next week, because the new moon is on Saturday. And so I think the spotlight will be on someone who is able to bring people together right now and not divide them, and somebody who does not want to have it all their own way. So I think that you may be in the background next week, Aries, and I think you'll just have to live with it. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, this is a time when you do still have to be careful, but at least the emphasis is going to be on compromise and partnership. And I know that you, since your sign is also ruled by Venus, that you are interested in that. And in fact, a Taurus does much better in partnership. And that is because you can have a stable partner with you. And that's good for you, Taurus. Right now, you could be having difficulties because Mars is still in Leo and squaring your sun, meaning that you can be meeting stiff competition for something, and that can be causing extra stress for you right now. So you need to drop out of something, Taurus, and not be under so much stress, because it's really not good for your health, and particularly not for your heart, your back, or your blood supply. At the same time, there are now 3 planets in Scorpio all opposing your sun, because Mercury, Venus, your own ruler, and Saturn are in Scorpio, and they are being magnificently trined by other planets right now, so they are very well fortified, but they are opposing your sun sign. And that simply means that the kind of sacrifice in the name of love that you might have to make, Taurus, is that you might just have to pay either someone else's bills for them, or the bills can be high right now for you, and so can the taxes. So I think you're going to have to let go of something, Taurus. And of course, yours is a possessive fixed sign. You wouldn't want to have to do that. But if the taxes are getting too high or the credit terms are too high, that is why you'd have to save more and spend less. And so you might think about paying down debt right now, Taurus, and that's because if we enter an inflationary period, which it looks like we're going to be doing, the costs are going to go up, particularly interest costs are going to go up, and that isn't going to make you rich, and that's why you need to cut that if you can. Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, it is very fortunate for you that that new moon on Saturday in Libra and the sun are both trining your sun sign and the sign of Aquarius, because it simply means that someone rather charming and peace-loving could walk right into your life, Gemini. Or you could hear of a very good partnership offer, or there could be an attractive contract that you might be interested in signing. I advise you to do that, Gemini. And still, the main idea of making a sacrifice for love is that all of us will have to save more and spend less. But it would be easier for you to do that, Gemini, if you did have a partner who was perhaps sharing costs with you, or at least somebody who was in your corner and was enthusiastic about your ideas. And it looks like somebody like that can be headed your way, Gemini. And I think that that will certainly reassure you and comfort you. And so if there is any kind of a partner headed your way, even in a temporary project, I hope you certainly latch onto them, Gemini, and listen to what they have to say, because they can be a great helpmate to you. And I think that that is what you need right now. You need a little help, and somebody charming is going to be able to supply that. Or you can get something on rather good terms right now, fair and balanced terms. There is even the possibility that you may win a lawsuit or some legal settlement if you are in one right now, so that's good. All right, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, this is certainly a time when it can be a little difficult for you, because there are 5 planets in the cardinal signs all squaring and opposing each other, but there are also 5 planets in the water signs all trining each other. Well, you're going to benefit from both of those major aspects, because yours is a cardinal sign. So the new moon in Libra on Saturday, along with the sun, is going to square your sun sign, where you have Jupiter. And so I think that that means there is the possibility that someone that you know, perhaps in your family or a dear friend, could be thinking about marriage or starting a business or signing a legal contract, and they are probably going to want to go forward on that, and they should, but it may not be quite to your liking. If I were you, I would keep your opinions to yourself this week, and that is because Uranus in Aries is squaring your sun sign as well, and that means someone could suddenly rebel and just take off and leave, and that might make you feel a little bit lonely, so you wouldn't want to drive anyone away. And then Pluto in Capricorn is opposing your sun sign, which means that someone in a position of power in a government agency or a large corporation could make a rule that does not include you, Cancer, and for that reason you could be thinking about moving on right now, and that would be a good idea, because there are also 5 planets in the water signs, and they are beautifully fortifying your sun sign. So the ball really is in your court. If you want to try to spend a lot of time trying to get other people to change their opinions, I think that that is an exercise in futility, so I hope you don't do that. And keep your opinions to yourself, Cancer, because you are very popular right now. And I think you should try to keep that popularity while you've got it and enjoy it. And one way to do that is to be real quiet. If you are in disagreement about something right now, you really won't be able to change anybody's mind anyway. So I hope you just sort of quietly go along and enjoy your popularity anyway. And you could probably do that a little bit better if you just keep a smile on your face and sort of grin and bear it this week. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, this is still a time when you can be under pressure, and that is because Mars in your sign is being squared now by 3 planets in Scorpio, Mercury, Saturn, and Venus as well. And they are beautifully fortified by 2 other planets in the water signs. So I would say that there are an awful lot of people who are united in their feelings of empathy and sympathy right now, and they will support the people that they are close to right now, and there's nothing that's going to break that or stop that. That's going to be solid, and they may, as a group, be willing to make a sacrifice in the name of love. Whereas you, if you continue along a way that stresses having everything done your own way and trying to be the boss and trying to sort of be head of something right now in a somewhat arrogant way, you are really going to lose a lot of money right now, because you're going to lose all that support that is around right now, particularly sympathetic support. On top of that, Leo, you don't have to be like that. Leos have a great deal of pride, and they do not like to admit a mistake, and they don't say they're sorry very often. Even when they are sorry, they don't say it too loudly. But you have a generous heart, Leo, and you can sort of go the extra mile right now if you sort of get off your high horse and decide you want to compromise. Well, it doesn't mean you have to make an admission of a mistake right now, although that would be rather nice, because that would indicate that you have humility. And humility is the sign of a big person, not a small person. And so it does take a big heart like you have to admit some sort of mistake or to say that you're sorry. And you really should do that and get over it, Leo, because with the new moon and sun in Libra sextiling your sun, you will have the opportunity to compromise, or you will have the opportunity to join a rather nice peacemaking effort, or join a good partner right now. I say opportunity because Mars is in your sign. You may not want to compromise, but I strongly suggest that you do that. And if you have to admit a mistake and suggest that we all let bygones be bygones, then that is simply a sign of how big you are, not how small. And so you have nothing to lose by considering a peacemaking compromise or by being nice to a very nice partner right now. And that could take you a long way, Leo, and it would make you more popular, believe it or not. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, this is a time when there is an awful lot going on around you. There are no planets in your sun sign though, but they are certainly surrounding you on both sides. Mars is in Leo right behind your sun sign, and that means in the background of your life you can be a little irritated or worried about somebody who's being very competitive and they may not get off your back, and that can be bothering you. Or you could be under much more stress than people realize, and that can be causing stress on your heart or your back or your blood supply. And so you could be a little more worried than you're letting on to people, or a little busier than you look right now. On top of that, the new moon in Libra is right ahead of your sun sign. So the sun and the moon are right ahead in Libra. And that simply means you can see the opportunity for some sort of peacemaking, or for a very nice person who can be in your future or headed your way, which would be very nice. Ahead of the planets in Libra are 3 planets, including your own ruler in Scorpio. Mercury is there, Saturn is there, and Venus is there, and they all sextile your sun, and Pluto in Capricorn is trining your sun. So you have a lot going for you right now. It is actually coming from changes that other people are making right now, or from some sort of decision that people have been waiting on for a long time, but it looks like now it will be done. And there is the possibility that people are sick of fighting, and they will consider a compromise right now, and you could too if you wanted to, Virgo. So I think in the main, a lot of things are going to start going your way because other people are making changes that will benefit you. Behind the scenes, you have got to find a way to relax before you get a health condition that can cause you serious trouble. And that's why you sort of need to take the load off right now if you can, Virgo. Try not to work so hard. Other people are making changes that will favor you, so you don't have to work so hard. So please try to relax if you can. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, the new moon in Saturday is in your sun sign, so the sun and the moon are both there. But remember, the title of the show is A Sacrifice in the Name of Love. Well, love is always on your mind, Libra, because Venus is your ruler and Venus is the planet of love. It is right ahead of your sun sign. In fact, Mercury, Venus, and Saturn are all ahead of your sign in Scorpio. So there's 5 planets just between the 2 in your sign and the 3 in Scorpio, and that's half of all the planets up there. And so I think that there is going to be some sort of sacrifice that you can be considering in the name of love. It might be that you have to work extra hard for some people that you love, such as family members, or it can be that there has been a change in the work environment, or there can be one coming up, and you would have to make some sort of sacrifice to adjust to that. I think you'll just have to do that. And that is because there are 5 planets in the cardinal signs. Pluto in Capricorn is squaring the sun and new moon in your sign. Jupiter in Cancer is also squaring it, which means your home life is not everything that you wish it was. And Uranus in Aries is opposing your sun sign. But yours is a sign that's got both the lights in them, Libra, and that is wonderful for you. So if anybody can gracefully make a compromise or renegotiate something or be extremely attractive to a new partner, it is you, Libra. So you have a lot to gain simply by being at your very best right now and also looking your best, because it could open up doors to your future and it could bring you nicer people to be around. You have been under stress lately, but I think that now the ball is in your court, Libra. So I hope you get out and show everybody how really nice you can be, because I think our sad world needs what you've got to offer. So I hope that you go ahead and advertise or communicate with other people or simply network right now. It would be wonderful for you. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, this is simply a time with those 3 planets in your sign, Mercury, Saturn, and Venus, that it can be you that is quite willing to make a sacrifice for love. Or it can simply be that you are in agreement about the idea of saving more and spending less. And it can be because if you have some bills, you'd want to get out of debt because there may be something for your family that you want to pay for. Or there can be a dream that you want to make come true, and it is going to take some money in order to do that. So I think that you're very committed to making some sort of sacrifice right now, but it's certainly for the right reasons, and it can involve you sort of doing your duty. The new moon is right behind your sun sign, so there's a lot of light in the background of your life, Scorpio, and everyone can see that you're in the mood for love or for peacemaking, and that can be that can make you quite attractive. So I think a lot of people, more than you realize, are in your corner, Scorpio, and I don't think there's anything stopping you. The competition against you has lost, so you don't need to worry about them anymore. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarius? Well, Sagittarius, this is simply a time when I think that you need to be real careful about the money. And remember, the idea is save more and spend less. You really have to do that because those 3 planets in Scorpio right behind your sun sign simply mean there's some financial sacrifice that has to be made in your life behind the scenes, or else your bills are high. The new moon in Libra does sextile your sun, which means there can be a way to renegotiate terms on something. So I hope that you talk about a problem rather than let it bottle up inside of you. The way to communicate is to go out and try to work with others right now if you can, Sagittarius. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, this is simply a time with that new moon in Libra and the sun there squaring your sun sign that the emphasis is certainly on peacemaking or compromising or not getting everything that you want or making a sacrifice for someone or something that you really love. And I think that you'll have to do that, Capricorn, and that is because there are 5 planets in cardinal signs all squaring and opposing each other. So you might have to compromise in a home matter or a family matter. You might have to compromise at work. You certainly will have to compromise because someone else is suggesting that now, and they are a peace-loving person, and I think you're going to have to do things their way a little bit. So that's all right, Capricorn, because we don't all need to be on the same page, but we do need to get along with each other. And so this is an opportunity for you to consider sort of backing away a little bit and letting someone else who is charming and is peacemaking, let them have their say right now, Capricorn, because it'll simply make you a good listener, and that is always appreciated. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this is simply a wonderful new moon for you because the sun and new moon in Libra trine your own sun. And so there can be a very nice partner headed your way. They may require that you make some sort of sacrifice in the name of love, and that'll be all right with you, Aquarius. It is better than continually fighting with stubborn people who will not budge an inch. Remember, Mars in Leo is opposing your sun sign. So what you need to do is make new friends, Aquarius, and I think there is a nice one headed your way. Or there can be more favorable terms in some legal settlement right now, or even a better contract headed your way. So keep your eyes and ears open for change and for somebody new in your life, Aquarius. You really need them. So I hope you say yes when they come along. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, this is simply a time when I think that you are going to benefit greatly simply by sticking with the person that brought you. In other words, if you went to a dance, rather than changing partners, this is the time to sort of keep it steady right now, Pisces, because there are 3 good planets in Scorpio trining your sun, and Jupiter in Cancer is also trining your sun. So there may be a need to make a sacrifice for a dream or in the name of love. And it can be because you may be contemplating a move soon, Pisces, and you need to have money for that. So remember, save more and spend less. You'll be glad you did. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see our show anytime you want on our website, starborninstitute.org.